functions, the rule of 4. In this example, we will consider a hypothetical situation where the county will charge us $20 per month for water uses, and the surcharge will be 1 cent or $0.01 per gallon. If we let T be the number of gallons of water used, and C of T, or using function notation, F of T will be the dollars amount that we're going to spend per month. So this is the cost per month, or monthly cost. The $20 per month is also known as the fixed cost. This is a simple example of a function. We can investigate this function using either the table, numerical value, using the graph. We have the verbal expression in which it states that the fixed cost is $20, and for each gallon of water we use, we have to pay 1 cent. And lastly, we can put it in a formula using an equation. This is what is known as the rule of 4 when we approach functions. With the table, in this case, the dollars amount depends on the number of gallons of water we used, and so usually we make a horizontal or a vertical table. Using a horizontal table, we would put the independent variable, in this case T, above, and then the cost F of T below. So we would have 2 rows. If we use 0 gallons of water, we would still need to pay $20 because that was a fixed cost. If we use 10 gallons of water, remember that each gallon costs us 1 cent, so 10 gallons would cost us 10 cents. And so the cost would be 20 fixed cost plus 10 more cents. And so in that month, if we were to use only 10 gallons of water, we would have to pay $20.10. If we used 20 gallons of water, then we would have to pay another 10 cents, and so on. In reality, though, most counties, they would charge a different rate if we go over a certain limit. This is a table that represents this function. In some cases, we will see that the table is set up in columns, 2 columns instead of rows. The independent variable is on the left, and the dependent variables is on the right. Regardless, they mean the same thing, whether we set it up horizontally or vertically. And after we use 20 gallons, the cost would be $20.20, not $20.10. This is a example where we use the table to represent a function. Now, using the graph, we simply plot these points on the coordinate axis. In this case, we would never use negative amount of gallons of water, and so the domain would be the set of positive numbers only. T would represent the number of gallons, and F of T would represent the dollars amount. If we use 0 gallons, then it would cost us $20. Remember that this is the fixed cost. If we use 10 gallons of water, then it would cost us an extra 10 cents. If we use 20 gallons, another 10 cents, or 20 cents after $20. And so we end up with a set of points, and if we were to connect these points, then we have what we call the graph of the function, and we label this f of t. This is the graphical example of the functions that we use an example. The verbal expression is again, the fixed cost is $20 with 1 cent per gallon. And so we represent the function using the table, the graph, or the verbal expression. In some cases, we can write this function using an equation. Notice that the fixed cost is $20 per month, and the variable cost, this is the cost that vary depends on how many gallons we use. It is 1 cent per gallon. And so we can put this in a formula. We notice that with a constant rate of change, this is a linear function. And so the equation that represents this function is 0.01 t plus 20. We might want to check to see whether this formula works. When t equals 0, then the cost is $20. When t equals 10, the cost is 0.01 times 10 plus 20, or 20.10.